What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about Starter Deck 11. Now, this is out in Japan, it's not yet out over here. This is, as I record, Starter Deck 13 is not out yet. This is the most recent Starter Deck over in Japan. And yeah, this is coming a little later than I would ideally have liked, but boring reasons as to why it took me longer to get it over here. With Starter Deck 10, I was in Japan when it launched. It was great. No, that's a lie. I was in Japan a week after it launched. But I still went and had a bit of a gander. Here, I had to wait for it to find its way over to me. But it did find its way over to me. And I am absolutely delighted. And I thought it might be fun to show you guys. Because, of course, Starter Deck 11 is going to be out for us in the not too distant future. And then we can all have a good old look at it then. In fact, I'm just going to double check if we've got... I believe at the moment the only official release date we've got is I think we've unfortunately got a month, not an actual day. So Starter Deck 12 is currently, it's listed for March. Now, look, we know what we can do here, right? This isn't our first day on the job, so we can go over to distributor websites and we can take a little bit of a look. And generally speaking, distributor websites will actually give us the real date. Now, when I say the real date, I am, of course, saying the date they've been given by Bandai, which is completely open to change. And I have to stress that. It's not official until it goes up on the official website. However, the date that we are given by distributors is usually correct. That is the 15th of March. So I'm not saying it won't be the 15th of March. I'm actually saying I expect it to be the 15th of March. But I'm also saying, just... hold your horses a little bit. We need to be a little bit careful. Good? Good. Oh, cool. Right. Sorry, you see me adjusting the camera there. So you get a little bit of a play sheet here. It's standard. It's a rule sheet. And then it's a very generic just play mat on the back. It's paper. It's not terribly exciting. And honestly, I have a few of these in Japanese now. One thing which I would love to see changed, I don't think it's ever going to be, or at least not in anytime soon, we still just get generic Don when we get these decks over in Japan. We don't get fancy Don. I would love to see that changed. I would love to see kind of like deck-specific Don. That would make me very happy. As it stands at the moment, that's not a thing. So we get ourselves just 10 ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill Don cards. You've seen these a million times in starter decks, etc. Not worth getting terribly excited about. But we have our leader, and our leader is worth getting excited about here. One thing that's cool with this one, it is textured and foiled. Remember, your generic leaders from early starter decks weren't. This one is. We've got ourselves Sanji and Zoro. It is textured. It is foiled. It is lovely. It's got Don X1 when attacking once per turn. You can return a 2-cost or higher character to your hand. And then it will let you set one of your characters with 7,000 power or less active. Basically lets you reuse one of your better characters. It's a very, very good thing. And there are some combos to be made as we go along. Now, we have ourselves Dracula Mihawk here, and as a designated super rare, you get 2 copies of it. I adore the artwork on this Dracula Mihawk. It is absolutely stunning. Beautiful card, stunning artwork, and in terms of playability, it's a decent card. On play, if you've got 2 or fewer characters, you can play a Muggy Kingdom character or slash attribute. That's the kind of thing we have up in this corner here, with a cost of 4 or less other than Dracula Mihawk from your hand rested. Playing characters for free, generally a very good thing. And then your other designated super rare is your Emporio Ivankov. So again, only 2 copies of it. Feel free to be upset about that, because it's a very, very good card. But unfortunately, Ivankov here, you only get the 2 copies. What we've got is, on play, reveal a card from the top of your deck. If it's a character card with a cost of 2, you can play it, basically. And then when attacking, once per turn, if you have 6 or fewer cards in your hand, you get to draw one. Which is kind of cool. Those are your designated super rares in the deck. You only get 2 of. It's a standard thing with One Piece, as I'm sure many of you are aware. You basically have to buy 2 copies of the starter deck. You can be upset about this if you wish, but there's too many cards that only come as 2 ofs. If you want to be playing properly, you do need to buy 2 copies of the starter deck. So Kuina here, you got activate main, rest this character, and then rest an opponent's character of a cost of 4 or less. As a trigger, play the card. And you get yourself a full 4 copies of that one. Now, we then do have the generic dude. Not generic, that's not the word I'm looking for. The vanilla dude. We've got ourselves vanilla human drill. Let's go for that. It's a vanilla, so free cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And with it being just a simple generic character, obviously you get a playset. Now, Perona, one of my favourite One Piece characters. Cool character, cool design, cool power. And when my daughter saw a picture of her the other day, she was very impressed. Again, it's a vanilla character. Again, you get 4 copies. Sorry, super rares you're only getting 2 copies of. Vanillas, you are going to be getting a playset. That's just the way they do it. We've also got ourselves Yosaku and Johnny here. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Don X1, when attacking, you get to either rest one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 2 or less, or KO a character with a cost of 2 or less. And now most of these, remember, most of you will get a playset. Most of the cards in these starter decks, you will get a playset. Generally, it's the best cards you only get 2 of, which on the one hand is a little bit like, okay, I see what you're doing. And on the other hand, it's a bit like, well, yeah, I kind of get it. They're trying to sell starter decks, and at least we get lots of cool cards in them. Now, Rika, counter plus 2,000, lovely so-so artwork. And we've got on play, pay 2, if your opponent has 3 or more life, set one of your slash attribute characters with a cost of 4 or less to active. And there are some good slash characters here, as you can see. Oh, they all stuck together. There we go. Speaking of slash attribute characters, Roa Noa Zoro. Obviously, we got a new Zoro. It would be weird if we had a Zoro deck here, but we didn't have a Zoro character. Don X1, when attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 6 or less. You'll notice it does not say once per turn. And I've already shown you a couple different cards that can set this to active and essentially allow you to attack a couple of times. Yeah, not a coincidence. Absolutely deliberate. Now, obviously with a starter set, we are going to have a few vanilla characters. That's honestly pretty standard. And we got another one here. We've got ourselves Elephant True Bluefin. 1 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And then obviously you are going to get your playset. Although I think I've already done it wrong. There we go. Oh! And I should have mentioned a moment ago, let me mention now, only 2 copies of the Zoro. Of course, the Zoro is a good card and one of the main characters in the deck, so probably to be expected. And of course, with that being said, you're only getting 2 copies of Sanji. So for those keeping count, it is your super rare Ivankov, your super rare Mihawk, your Zoro, and your Sanji. Those are the ones that are coming as 2 ofs here. And what we got here is Don X1, when attacking, if you've got 5 or fewer cards in hand, this character gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. Yes, if you use it multiple times, like for instance with the leader. Again, it is not once per turn, and that seems deliberate, right? These Zoro and Sanji, both of them can be reused using the deck, and both of them have skills that aren't limited to once per turn. The deck is clearly designed to use that skill multiple times. That's the way it goes. Now we got Charlotte Puddin. I love that every character, if you've read the manga or watched the anime, every character in here has a connection to Zoro and or Sanji, and that's pretty cool. 2,000 power counter, activate main, return this character to the owner's hand. Basically, it's a counter plus 2,000 that you can bump back to your hand if you wish. That's pretty cool. We have ourselves a full playset of Zeph. Obviously, come on, if you're doing a Zoro and Sanji deck, you've got to have Zeph in there. Be frankly rude if you didn't have Zeph in there. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. And when attacking, reveal a card from the top of your deck. And if it's a 2-cost character, play it rested. Just like Ivankov can play a 2-cost. but of course, it's more stacking. Yes, you can play the character, but you can also stack your deck. Now, it looks like we have one more 2 of here, and it's kind of understandable again, because, well, I've just looked and I only found 2 copies of Duval here. It's a blocker, but also on play you get to rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck, put them at the top of your bottom of your deck in any order, which again, very, very useful for like Zeph and Ivankov that let you play the top card of your deck if it's a 2 cost. So, oh, and then the event cards as well. So the 2 copies here are the event cards, the super rares, Zoro, Sanji, and Duval. Quite a bunch of 2-ofs here. So again, if you want a playset of everything, you will need to buy 2 copies of the deck. We then got Patty and Kane, sorry. That's how it's pronounced. Kadene. And yeah, very cool. It's not cool, okay, it's a vanilla, but you know what I mean. And then we've got a couple of event cards coming in here as well. Not, unfortunately, as 4-ofs. Both coming in as 2-ofs here. And it's weird. They're not like the showy cards, but a lot of the time they do end up being among the better cards in the deck. So the Zoro one there is Lion Strike. Main or counter. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters at a cost of 4 or less. Same thing as a trigger. And then Plastic Surgery Shot for the Sanji card here. 1 cost, counter. Give your leader or one of your characters plus 2,000 power for this battle. Then reveal a card from the top of your deck, and if it's a 2-cost character, you can play it. Another way to play 2-cost characters. So there we go. That is the deck as a whole. Your 2-ofs here, you've got your Zoro, your Sanji, your Duval, and your super rares. And your super rares, I mean, look, they are very much, let's get Emporio Ivankov out here as well, shall we? So they are very much exactly like your super rares that you get in packs. And like you've had in previous starter decks. It's all rather lovely. One of the things that makes me happiest about this, the foiling of the leader. They don't have to do this. I know they did it in starter deck 10, but remember starter deck 10 was a fancy deck. Had the 3 leaders. Every card was foiled. Here, they've just gone and forward it. Check it is slash and hit attribute, which is pretty cool. Other than that, it is literally just... There's no difference in a dual leader, as in 2 characters, and a dual colour leader, other than the fact that you do actually get the 2 attributes there. It is both hit and slash. I like this starter deck. I think there are a bunch of cards in here which are going to see a bunch of play. And I just love the theming of all the characters having that connection to Zoro and Sanji. I like the fact they foil the leader. I like a lot about this. Do I like having to buy 2 copies of it in order to get a playset of everything relevant? No. But then the counter argument to that is, if you got a playset of everything, we'd get fewer unique cards per starter deck. I don't know. For now, I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. Would you go nuts? Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays. Bye.